There are roughly 200 million dead or dying car batteries in garages, junkyards, and landfills across North America right now. They're stacked in bins outside repair shops, discarded in scrapyards, forgotten in basement corners, piled under carports, abandoned in back alleys, and crushed into recycling bales because they no longer have the voltage to start an engine. In the old world, their hazardous waste, toxic lead and sulfuric acid, a legal liability, something you pay to dispose of. In a post-collapse world, a single car battery is one of the most dangerous and versatile survival tools you will ever possess. Because the thing that makes a battery useless as a power source is exactly what makes it lethal as a survival weapon. A modern car battery is a chemical reactor made of lead plates, lead dioxide plates, and sulfuric acid electrolyte, engineered to deliver 200 to 1000 cold cranking amps at 12 volts, enough current to turn over a 3-ton engine in freezing temperatures. That's not just power. That's concentrated electrical energy in a thermally stable container, able to hold its charge for months when properly stored, resistant to water damage, sealed against contamination, and practically indestructible under normal conditions. And critically, that voltage and amperage translates directly into survival applications that are stronger, more reliable, and more devastatingly effective than anything you could improvise from conventional materials. The raw material is everywhere, free, and completely ignored by everyone else, because nobody thinks of a dead battery as anything other than garbage. Here are 7 things you can build from a single car battery, and each one solves a different survival problem that would otherwise require tools or specialized knowledge you probably won't have access to. Weapon 1. The emergency electric starter. Cut away the plastic battery casing and you expose 6 cylindrical lead cells, each producing 2.1 volts and capable of delivering emergency short burst current of 50 to 100 amps continuously. This is your raw power source. Extracted from the battery housing, a single lead cell becomes an electrochemical starter, a method to ignite fires, power tools, or detonate emergency signals when friction methods fail. Strip insulation from copper. Wire salvaged from any automotive component, alternator wiring, starter cables, anything with exposed copper. Create 2 terminals by wrapping the exposed copper tightly around both the positive and negative lead plate. The moment these 2 points touch through any flammable material, char cloth, petroleum jelly, steel wool, or carbon residue, the electrical resistance generates heat of approximately 2000 degrees Fahrenheit. This is thermite level heat. A single electrical arc from a car battery can ignite diesel fuel, kerosene, or crude oil that conventional friction methods cannot. It can cauterize and seal infected wounds. It can ignite signal fires in conditions where striker-based methods would fail. Most critically, it works in wet environments, underwater conditions, and extreme cold, where every other fire-starting method becomes unreliable. The survival problem it solves: reliable fire creation when conventional methods fail, which solves food preparation, water purification, hypothermia prevention, and psychological security. Weapon 2. The water electrolyzer. Fill a plastic or glass container with salt water, rainwater, or any contaminated water source. Insert 2 copper or lead electrodes salvaged from the battery itself, or from scrap metal connected to opposite battery terminals. Connect the positive terminal to one electrode, negative to the other, and maintain 12-volt electrical current for 8 to 12 hours. The electrochemical reaction occurring inside the water is called electrolysis. The 12-volt current forces a chemical separation. Hydrogen gas accumulates at the negative electrode, oxygen at the positive. The contaminated water gradually becomes cleaner as impurities accumulate at the electrodes. This is not full purification. It will not remove all pathogens, but it significantly reduces bacterial load, mineral content, and suspended solids. The voltage matters. 12 volts is optimal for home electrolysis without producing dangerous hydrogen concentrations. It's slow compared to commercial systems, but it's reliable, continuous, and works on contaminated water sources that filtration alone cannot fix. The practical output: A single car battery can electrolyze 5 to 8 gallons of marginal water into significantly cleaner water over a 24-hour period. Run the battery down 70%. Recharge it however you can. Manage solar, manual cranking, wind generation, and repeat. Multiply this across 7 batteries, and you've created a water processing system without access to industrial supplies. The survival problem it solves. Water purification when chemical treatments are unavailable, which solves disease prevention. The single biggest killer in collapse situations. Weapon 3. The emergency communication device. A car battery can power a basic AM or FM radio for 40 to 80 hours depending on draw. But more critically, can power a basic two-way radio signal, light, or an emergency beacon. Before specialized communications fail, a 12-volt power system becomes your connection to other survivors, distant resources, or rescue operations. Remove a car radio from any abandoned vehicle, or build a basic crystal radio from common materials, a coil, a tuning capacitor, and a galena crystal. Connect this to the battery through appropriate wiring, and you have reception capability that lasts weeks without external power. But transmission is more valuable than reception. A 12-volt system can power a basic LED strobe light incredibly bright, visible for miles at night, invaluable for signaling distant groups. It can power a small whistle amplifier. It can charge rechargeable batteries that power two-way radios. It can run an emergency beacon for 6 to 8 hours continuously before depletion. The output is quantified in hours of operation. A fully charged car battery, roughly 50 amp-hours of capacity in a standard automotive battery, can provide 12 volts continuously to a small radio or beacon for 40 to 60 hours before dropping below usable voltage. In a collapse scenario where communication determines survival, this is not peripheral technology, it's critical infrastructure. The survival problem it solves: communication during disruption, which solves coordination, resource discovery, and family reunion. Weapon 4. The portable electric fence. Lead and sulfuric acid create a hostile electrical environment. Properly wired through a salt water solution or moist earth, a 12-volt car battery becomes an electric fence system capable of delivering non-lethal but significant shocks to predators and threats. The voltage is critical. 12 volts alone is not lethal to humans. It can cause severe muscle contraction and pain, but it triggers the nervous system rather than stopping the heart. For large animals, wolves, bears, wild dogs, a 12-volt fence creates a psychological barrier. The shock is immediate, surprising, and aversive. Most animals, even aggressive ones, learn to avoid the barrier after one contact. This is not theoretical. Electric fencing has been used for livestock containment and predator deterrence for over a century. A battery-powered version is less effective than a grid-powered fence, but vastly superior to no fence at all. The practical installation: run positive wire around your camp perimeter through stakes or improvised insulators. Connect negative wire to salt water or wet earth as a ground. Any contact between person and positive wire while touching ground creates a circuit and delivers a shock. Output: continuous fence operation for 2 to 3 weeks before battery depletion, depending on how much contact occurs. If you're managing a small survival camp, a basic electric fence eliminates the psychological terror of nighttime predators and provides quantifiable security. The survival problem it solves: perimeter security when conventional fencing is impossible, which solves sleep quality, stress reduction, and resource protection. Weapon 5. The thermal warning system will lead from the battery plates into small containers. Lead melts at 327 degrees Celsius, cool enough to handle briefly, hot enough to burn severely. Suspended in containers above your perimeter, tripwire systems connected to falling lead buckets create an immediate thermal alarm. Any intruder triggering the wire falls victim to burning lead, painful, disorienting, and immediately alerting your camp to the threat. This is barbaric. It's also brutally effective. In a genuine survival situation where lethal threats are constant, A 12-volt system that provides early warning and physical consequence is not excessive. This is the difference between waking up surrounded and waking up to a triggered alarm. More practical, lead is excellent insulation and conduction material. Melted lead can be formed into weights, sinkers, or shielding for other weapons, but its thermal properties make it uniquely valuable for booby traps and alarm systems in collapse scenarios. The survival problem it solves: perimeter defense and early warning systems, which solves life expectancy when surrounded by threats. Weapon 6. The chemical manufacturing power sourceth 12-volt sustained current from a car. Battery enables chemical reactions that would otherwise be impossible without industrial equipment. Electrolysis of salt water produces chlorine gas, historically used as a disinfectant and chemical weapon. Electrical processing of metallic materials enables refinement of resources. But more importantly for survival, a 12-volt battery can power basic electroplating systems. This sounds irrelevant until you realize that electroplating allows you to coat low-quality metal tools with higher-quality metals, dramatically extending their usable life. A corroding knife becomes a knife with a protective silver or copper coating. A tool with degrading edges becomes a tool with renewed structural integrity. This requires understanding electrochemistry, but the principles are simple. The 12-volt current drives metallic ions from a pure metal donor into the surface of a tool. Over days or weeks, this builds a protective layer that resists corrosion and extends the working life of a replaceable resources. In a post-collapse world, where tool replacement is literally impossible and every piece of equipment must remain functional indefinitely, electroplating becomes a form of wealth creation. You're not manufacturing something new. You're extending the lifespan of existing resources indefinitely. Output: a single car battery can electroplate dozens of tools over weeks of careful electrical management. This translates into tools lasting years longer than they would deteriorate naturally. The survival problem it solves: tool preservation and resource extension, which solves capability maintenance. Weapon 7. The long-range signaling system modified with reflectors and wired to a high-brightness LED array. A car battery can power emergency lighting visible 15 to 20 miles away. In scenarios where you need to signal distant groups without radio communication, this is critical infrastructure. The LED ray itself draws minimal amperage, perhaps 2 to 4 amps. Paired with reflectors manufactured from any shiny surface aluminum, foil, polished metal, salvaged mirror glass, the effective range becomes extraordinary. A single car battery can power the system continuously for 2 to 3 weeks, but more insidious, Morse code signaling using the same LED system becomes your communication infrastructure. Flash patterns create messages visible to anyone with line of sight. No radio equipment required, impossible to intercept through traditional radio monitoring. Two survivors separated by mountains or distance communicate directly through light patterns, using only the power from a single battery. The military understood this 150 years ago. Helios and signal mirrors were primary communication tools before radio existed. A car battery simply makes this reliable and sustained rather than dependent on sunlight or manual effort. Output: unlimited signaling range limited only by line of sight and atmospheric conditions. Continuous operation for weeks. No consumables beyond the battery itself. The survival problem it solves: medium-distance communication without technological infrastructure, which solves coordination and resource finding. The architecture of advantage every single one of these applications exploits the same fundamental property. A car battery contains stable electrical energy in reliable, quantifiable amounts. A standard 12-volt car battery in good condition stores approximately 600 to 1,000 watt-hours of energy. When properly managed, this translates into weeks of operation for low-draw applications. The other survivors in your region won't understand this. They'll see a dead battery as metal recycling. They'll miss the fact that the moment civilization's infrastructure fails, the ability to generate reliable electrical current becomes more valuable than gold. Because electricity solves food preservation, water purification, communication, and security all simultaneous. Most people hoard fuel, ammunition, or food. The truly prepared hoard batteries. A single car battery can solve any of 7 different survival problems. 7 batteries solve them all simultaneously. 70 batteries become the foundation of a functioning community. The extraction of value. From garbage, the recognition that what everyone else discards becomes the core infrastructure of the post-collapse world. This is what separates survivors from corpses. A car battery is engineering. It was built to be nearly indestructible. It was built to store and release energy reliably across years and years of use. That engineering doesn't disappear when the electricity grid fails. It becomes your greatest asset. And right now, there are millions of them sitting in landfills, waiting to be rescued by someone who understands what they actually are.